Hello and welcome back for another episode of Indie Impressions. My name is Nick, and today we're going to be looking at a really interesting exploratory art game called Proteus. Now I have to admit, this is one of the games that I think when I first started this series I was most interested in playing, and it's taken me far too long to actually contact the developers and see if they'd be kind enough to lend me a review copy, and of course they did, because they're awesome. But I'm just super excited to actually play this. The little bit of footage I've seen of it, it looks so beautiful, and if you know my stance on how these games go, like as far as indie games, I really believe that games can be art, and I think that some games embrace that ideal more than others. This is one that embraces it quite fully, and I think it's for the best, and it's really a very tranquil, just pleasant experience to walk around in this game. So I'm very happy to have the opportunity to share it with you, and let's start it up. Now, of course, whenever I refer to the art design in this game, I'm going to be equally referring to the sound design, which plays a very integral role as well. Where am I? There it is. So you start out a little bit like waist deep out in the ocean, and you walk towards, I think this is an island. I'm pretty sure it's an island. I'm not sure to what degree it is large, but it seems to be that you either start at a random point around this area, or it is a random area entirely every time you come back, because I've started it up about 3 or 4 times now. Every time it's been a little different. But I haven't charted the whole place well enough to know if I'm seeing different areas every time. So this is going to be a little bit different of an indie impression. Most episodes there's a lot going on. There's a lot of intense stuff. This is just a really relaxing, tranquil experience, and this game it's largely just exploration and just discovery and finding what there is to find, and I think that's one of the best things that this game and a lot of games that have popped up in this sort of sandboxy subgenre have to offer. It's a really just comforting experience. You just get to take in the sights and the sounds and walk around. Now, I know that's not for everybody, and I don't think the developers pretend that it is for everybody. This is a very specific type of game. But I think for those of us that can appreciate it, we appreciate it a lot. I mean, look at the aesthetic of this. It's so beautiful. It's like flat shaded pastel, but with like this... It almost reminds me of King's Quest a little bit, like the polygonal, the sprite edges of everything. Well, it is probably actually mapped polygonal to some degree. Otherwise I wouldn't be able to go around it in a circle, huh? But it comes across as pixel art on a sort of a hybrid 2D, 3D plane, and I love it. So there's no real goal in mind here. We're just gonna wander about, and it looks like we found a frog. I know this can happen from time to time. Looks like he's... oh, no, there he is. The sounds are very vivid and crisp, too. The sound of him hopping, I mean, it's just a very pleasant sound, and when you layer that on with the background music that's playing, which is very, gentle, I guess is the right way to say it. It's not trying to take over your attention. It's there. It's relaxing. It's not pointed in any way. Not sure if this is supposed to be snow or beach. Probably snow, because we're at the top of a hill. And I should mention, if I haven't already, this is a beta. This is not a finished game. They're taking pre-orders. It should be out, I think they said fall, autumn 2012 area. So if this is the type of game that tickles your fancy, and I hope it is, because this is the exact type of stuff that I hope to encourage in these videos. These are the exact type of videos that I want to make. I want to explore and discover and just sort of revel in just simplicity in a really elegant way, and I think that's really what this game accomplishes. I mean, it's such a nice break. I mean, I've played so many hundreds and hundreds of games where all you do is run around and shoot everything to death, and I feel like I've shot enough things to death at this point in my life, maybe. Maybe now, I mean, this is like my gaming retirement. I get to walk through pleasant fields and just feel comfortable and not worry about whatever the hell the game's trying to throw at me every 5 seconds. I don't have to worry about being scared. I don't have to worry about, like, solving stuff. This is just relaxing. And there is some surprise to it. There are elements of discovery. That frog seems to have some real jump in his step. I'm not sure even if that was a frog, but he's got some glitters. I love the color palette, too. It's really vivid. Everything really falls into this really nice motif. I mean, just looking at, like, that olive drab against that really bright coral. I don't know, I'm an appreciator of art in its more formal sense. So when I see what looks like very formal art presented in a way that I can interact with, like this, that's something that I can really get into. And I know that's not something that everyone can get into. I mean, I did go to college for art, you know, all of that, but I think to some degree, hopefully, if you're not dead inside, you should be able to find some beauty in this. You can just stand up on a hill here and look at the pretty stars. Actually, it looks like there might be some constellations. And it's getting dark. Oh, what a nice transition that is. I hope it comes out as well on the video as it does when I'm seeing it. Is that an owl? I think that's an owl just standing there. Hello, owl. Hello, bye. Where are you going? Oh, you're gonna go sit in that tree, okay. Is that the owl hooting in the... Ooh. Oh, that's so pretty, and then there's wind coming, there's like either butterflies or maybe flower blossoms blowing away. Now I'm told that as the final version does approach... Oh wow, look what I'm finding here. There will be more areas, more, I guess, events or different things to walk into and experience. So what you see right now may not be completely indicative of the final product, but still, either way, I think this is a nice sort of a sampler of what you might be able to expect from it. And I think this, just by itself, as it is right now, is enough to make me excited about it. Not sure what this is that's going on, but it's very interesting. Whoa, hello. Is that... I'm moving forward in time or something? What? Wow. That's really impressive. I'm time traveling, I guess. Or teleporting. I'm teleporting. What are these? Dragonflies, maybe? I'm actually glad that I don't know what they are in a way, just because the simplicity of the art style, it leaves a lot to your own imagination, which is why I always like sprite art so much, even though, again, this is more of like a hybrid sprite art situation, but I do really appreciate that things are left to your own interpretation, and you get to fill in some of the blanks with your own ideas, imagination, preconceptions, whatever you want to say. And plus, the more vague stuff is, the more just strange it might come across. Like, if you don't have a preconception, because I have no idea what those were supposed to be. That's just unique. It gives the experiences character. And that's something that I think we definitely need more of in video games. I think there's a huge dearth of character, and I think that in its wake it's been replaced with brown and gray and shooting. And I don't want to come across like I'm totally jaded completely to first-person shooters either, because I'm not. I still play them. I still will find some reason to appreciate them occasionally, and I still do plenty of shooting. But I just really like that there's something as an alternative. Oh wow, there's even like solar flare when you look at it. Really clever details and really elegant touches everywhere. So I guess maybe this isn't so much of an island, maybe it's more of a landmass. I figure I would have probably come across the other end of the island if it was. This also natively supported my Xbox 360 controller, which if you watch my videos, you know I go on and on about how great that is. Any developer that knows that I might have a controller already hooked up to my PC and decides to put that right in, that's A+ for me, because that means I don't have to go through Joy-to-Key, I don't have to set stuff up. Just makes the whole experience a little bit smoother. Loving the music, too. I'm sure I could actually very easily just sit with my headphones on and listen to this for an hour. And I do highly recommend, if you play this, put the music up real high and play it on headphones. I think it's probably the best way to do it. Those are very funny crabs. Do they actually... Oh, I think they react to how I move near them. Cool. Oh, what's that? Is that a house? Oh. I didn't know there'd be structures. Not sure maybe I can do much of anything with it, but still kind of cool to find it. Any door or anything? No, I don't think so. Well, it's just there for show, but that's okay. Where'd the glittering frog go? Awesome. Oh, there he is. I think it's actually really nice that developers chose to use a little restraint with regard to objectives or any kind of like a really focused narrative or anything like that. I don't think it would have been bad if there was like a scavenger hunt or some sort of like Easter eggs to find. But at the same time, I kind of really like that there's nothing that you have to think about or worry about. It's all just right laid out in front of you and you just go. There's no layers of complexity between you and the experience, it's just pure. And that's another thing I think we're really losing sight of as this industry moves forward. I think everything's getting so complex and so intertangled with itself. Everything's got to be, you know, socially enabled. You need to know what your friends are doing all the time. There's like no time for anybody to just relax and play games anymore. There's almost no relaxation to come from most games, I feel like. I know this is a big soapbox episode, but I feel like a lot of this sort of stuff really comes to the surface whenever I find a game that really sort of moves me in a way that makes me really wish that more people had these sort of design philosophies and ethos. I have no idea what those are. Scarecrows? Or, statues? They kind of look like stuff from an Atari 2600 game, but that's okay. That reminds me of a Kozo from Metroid. Definitely sort of a tribal beak bird type deal. Actually, a bunch of this stuff reminds me a little bit of Zelda. Oh wow, what is going on in the sky? That's kind of trippy, but really pretty. I believe they keep getting bigger every time they pulsate. Wow. Are they focused? What's going on? Is this telling me to go over here, maybe? I think the only challenge that really needs to be really made sure is worked away is just that there are enough diverse experiences to have within this environment. And so far I've been impressed. I think there's a lot more than I even expected. Because I've only been playing this for about 15 minutes on camera, and I've seen a bunch of stuff that I didn't see before. So if we're still, you know, another good 6 months-ish away from a release, well, maybe less than that, but somewhere in that ballpark, like 3 to 5 months, perhaps. I think there's plenty of time for more really interesting features to be added. And like I said before, even if there aren't more features to be added, this is still quite sufficient, and I'm having a great time enjoying this. I think we're gonna do a little bit more time travel, portaling. Yeah. Curious if it was gonna take me to a completely new third place. It looks like maybe, maybe not. It's hard to tell. What are those? They're clicking when I get near them. Beetles or something? Or snakes? I don't know. They're jumping. I mean, really, you don't even need to apply anything to these avatars of whatever the conceptual idea is behind them. It could really be anything, and they don't even need to be anything based in reality. But the human mind tends to just map things to what we know. And sometimes it's nice to take a break from doing that for a minute. Quite a pretty forest. Maybe we're going through seasons? I wonder. Because these are definitely more autumn colors than I remember seeing in some of the previous areas. I think they were more summer tinged. I could be wrong. I was sort of taking in a lot of things at the same time, so it may be a little sensory overload and I might have missed the point a little bit. But I could just see, like, laying back in a really comfortable chair with some headphones on and just playing this with a giant monitor. That sounds like pretty much the height of relaxation to me. So we'll make our way up towards the highest point we can find, and I think we'll wrap this episode up. Probably don't need to underscore anymore how much enjoyment I'm getting from this. Oh wow, we've found some sort of a vast snow wasteland or something. Really wasn't expecting that. Now it's sort of reminding me of Journey a little bit. Minus the scarf, perhaps. This is quite a vast area. What's below me here? Is this smoke or something? Or water? Smoke on the water? Oh, it's a cloud. I was just walking into a cloud, I understand. Some nice rain. And the rain also has an excellent ambient sound to it. Like I said at the beginning, I think the sound design is just as equal to the visual design in this particular endeavor, and I think it really is balanced very nicely. So, I guess there's some more statues over on that cliff. Or maybe those are the same ones. I might have just walked in a huge circle, I don't know. But I think we will wrap this episode up. So this has been the beta for Proteus. I highly recommend you go over to the developer's website, which I'll put in the description as always. Throw them a pre-order, try this out. If you pay for the extra edition, you actually get like special release candidate versions of the game, so you actually get to try out newer versions before they are available to the general public, or to the lesser payee beta members. And I think that the developers could definitely use a hand, and I think that they definitely deserve it for a really beautiful experience. So make sure you also head on over to facebook.com/indieimpressions, where I post every night's video. Feel free to leave me comments, and on Twitter @indieimpression or @RockLeeSmile. Feel free to also suggest any other games you'd like me to try. If you come across another particularly interesting indie gem like this one, just, send it over. I'll take a look at it. So that will wrap it up. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow with another episode.